Well, the question said that Jim had 40% less money than John. Joseph had 20% more money than Jim. And when Joseph spent 50% of his money, he had $300 less than Jim in the end. So how much money did John have? Firstly, let's pull out all the percentages. Firstly, 40% is equivalent to 2/5 in fractions, 20% is equivalent to 1/5, and 50% is equivalent to half or 1/2. Alright, so the statement that says that Jim had 40% less than John can be expressed as Jim had 2/5 less money than John, which means to say that if we give John 5 units and Jim would have 2 units less, that means Jim would have only 3 units. So let's proceed on drawing the model. So we draw John's model to be 5 units. And Jim had 2 less, therefore Jim had only 3 units. Okay. Now, the next statement reads, Joseph had 20% more money than Jim. That means to say Joseph had 1/5 more money than Jim. Alright. Jim had 3 units over here. Okay. That means to say that in this fraction here, 5 is representing the number of parts of Jim. So we're going to cut the model of 3 units into equivalents of 5 parts. Okay. So Jim had 5 parts and Joseph had 1 more part than Jim. So Joseph had 6 parts. Okay, that's how we draw the model. Now we're also told that when Joseph spent 50% of his money, he had $300 less than Jim. So Joseph spent 50%. Alright, Joseph had a total of 6 parts. So Joseph spent half. 50% means half. So he spent 3 parts out of 6 parts. Okay, so he spent 3 parts. That means to say he was left with 3 parts. And with this money of 3 parts left, he had $300 less than Jim. So we put down the difference here. Compared to Jim's model here, he had $300 less. Got it? Now, so from the model straight away, we can tell that 2 parts is equivalent to $300, and therefore 1 part is equivalent to $150. Okay? Now, if 1 part is 150, therefore 5 parts will be equal to 150 multiplied by 5, which is 750. Why we do that? Because we know that 5 parts is equivalent to 3 units here. Got it? So that means to say that 3 units will be also equal to $750. And therefore 1 unit will be equal to 750 divided by 3, which is $250. So if 1 unit is $250, John had a total of 5 units here. So John had a total of 250 multiplied by $5, and therefore which is equal to 1,250. Hence the answer. John had $1,250. Thank you for using Playmaths.com.